So you're new to having a stoma. I've been there, a lot of people have been there. It might feel like you've got a million things you need to navigate, and you've probably not been given a lot of information by either hospital staff or your stoma nurse yet. So I'm going to tell you some stoma advice that I wish that I knew sooner. And let's try and make this transition a little bit easier, shall we? My name is Tommy from Stoma Adventures. I make content on stomas, IBD. I like to do little tips and tricks just to help people that might be new to stomas, or even people that have had stomas for decades. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. It really helps new creators like me. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Tip number 1. The fit of your stoma bag matters more than anything. Now this does sound like an obvious one, but bear with me. The majority of problems that people have when they first get a stoma are normally down to the bag. Whether you've got a leak, whether you've got skin issues, whether you've got itching. These can all be fixed by changing the bag, not by adding products on, not by creams, not by medication. So let me talk you through the right bag. There are a million types of stoma bags, but the first thing you need to figure out is the base plate. Some are flat, some are convex like this one, some have a deeper convex. This one I use is a soft convex, and that's because I have a little indent around my stoma. There's actually a tool I'll put in the description that is from Coloplast that lets you figure out which bag is the right one for you, or at least the base plate. Now the base plate is important, but also some adhesives don't agree with your skin. I have heard issues that certain stoma bags make people itch and some stoma bags don't. So if you find that it's reacting to your skin, try a different bag. When it comes down to leaks can be down to a number of things. Maybe the bag's adhesive just isn't very good or doesn't work well with your skin. It might be the placement of your stoma. I've heard that quite a lot of girls have their stoma too close to the belly button. So you can find bags with a smaller base plate or ones with the grooves cut out of them so it forms around the belly button area a bit better. The point I'm getting to is you need to find the bag that fixes the majority of these problems before you move on to accessories or creams or whatever it is. Tip number 2 is leaks aren't your fault. When you first get a stoma, leaks are going to happen because you need to trial your different bags. You need to trial your routines, when to empty, your sleeping routine, stuff like that. So you need to remember that it is normal to have leaks, and there's no getting around it, it's embarrassing. But I feel like if you take tip 1 seriously and fix that first, you'll minimize the amount of leaks that you have initially. Now, the highest risk times for a leak are bedtime. That's because you're still getting used to when you need to empty it. A tip for bedtime is I made another video on it. I managed to sleep 8 hours through the night without having to get up and empty the bag. Try that, see if it works for you. If not, set an alarm at like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. to do an empty, and that's so it doesn't fill up too much or leak, basically. What I did when I first came out of surgery is I slept in the spare bed. I married, just because it took the anxiety away from it that I don't want to have an accident in the bed with my wife next to me. Sounds fair. It's only a short-term thing whilst you get used to the right bag and get used to your routine, but you will get there. Another thing that can happen is you can have leaks when you're out and about. What I'd say is I don't have to do this anymore because I'm pretty confident in my bag is, but what I do is I bring spares with you. So you obviously want a spare bag, but you want your adhesive remover to remove the bag. You might want some wet wipes with you to clean everything up, and just a little black bag to throw everything away. If you've got these supplies with you, it makes things a little bit easier because as soon as you notice any leak, you just go, excuse me, go to the toilet and then fix it all up. Another good idea is to bring a spare t-shirt with you or whatever top you've got on, because obviously it's going to leak onto the top as well. So when you're first getting used to things and you're not fully confident in your supplies, just put all of these spares in your glove box or in your rucksack or anything. Tip number 3 is what should I do for recovery? It's a question I get a lot, and by that question people are asking if they need to do anything special to be able to recover quickly. My advice for recovering is after you're out of hospital and you're back at home, the main thing you need to do is rest. Sounds obvious, but a lot of people will rush into going back into the garden and doing some gardening, going back to work too quickly. Will try, if they live an active lifestyle, they'll try doing that again too quickly. You need to make sure you give yourself the right amount of time to recover. Yes, it's boring. Yes, you'll probably be climbing the walls because you've been at home for way too long. But if you rush your recovery too quickly, you're going to end up making the recovery last a lot longer. You've got a risk of giving yourself hernias, you've got a risk of having complications with the incision scar, and you're not going to be as strong as you were before you went in for surgery, so you need to build that strength back up slowly. Tip number 4 is to do with diet. Now, I am not going to sit here and tell you what diet you should eat. Like anything, the internet will tell you a million different things. The main risks that you've got are blockages. So there are high risk foods for blockages, and it doesn't mean that you can't eat these foods again. All it means is if you're going to eat these foods, eat them in moderation, not too much, and make sure you chew the hell out of them. For me, chewing is more important than what you're actually eating. A lot of people are terrified that they can't have the food that they had before, but in reality, in my scenario, when I had ulcerative colitis, I can actually eat way more than I did before because anything would make me flare up or make me need to go to the bathroom straight away, but now I can pretty much eat what I want. Tip number 5 is to do with confidence. This doesn't happen to everyone, but for a lot of people, the confidence might be at an all-time low. It's a big body image change, and it's fair enough that you're going to have some confidence issues, some body image issues. There's no quick fix to that, but all I'd say is confidence does come with time. The longer you have your bag, the less you feel self-conscious about it. You do need to learn to love yourself a bit more again, but it will come. You just need to understand it's fine to feel like this now and it will get better. My last tip is use accessories if you need them. Make sure you follow tip 1 about finding the right bag, but there are a million products out there. There are products like rings which go around the stoma to help create an extra seal. That might be because if you've got a particularly difficult area, it can help fill in those gaps and it'll create a seal around your stoma. There are flange extenders as well. They will go around your base plate and they'll help keep everything in place to stop it peeling. There are also pastes as well, which do the same thing as the rings, but that helps sort of fill in any gaps, maybe even around your belly button, any scars, anything like that. That helps just seal that up as well. Don't be afraid to experiment with the accessories, but remember, you need to make sure that you have the right bag before you go for accessories. I could talk all day about these issues. There are a lot of main hurdles when you first have your surgery. These are the ones that spring to mind initially. I'll probably make a few videos on this because ideas crop up all the time. If there's anything you think I've missed, pop them in the comments and we'll talk about them. And don't forget to like and subscribe as well. It really helps new creators like me, and I'll see you in the next one.